chasing shadows in the night. Words echo silent where I hide. Every mirror shows a stranger's eyes, searching for the part of me that's mine. Let the sky ignites a spark inside, burning down to wait. In the ashes of my fight, truth is born again. I won't rise up like a phoenix from the flame. Find my voice and call out your name. From the roots of what I used to be, I'll embrace the truth and set it free. Blinded by the weight of all my fears, I let them break me, shape my day. Every scar's a testament to life. Now I rewrite the story in my mind. Yeah, feel the fire burning. I'm no longer turning away from the truth that's calling. I'm alive today. All I used to be, rise up free, rise Larry, and set me free. Rising higher, Phoenix, watch me go.
Brian has been essentially convicted in the media. He has a right to have this information withheld, brought out in public, so that people can see it's not this neat little package. So people can start to wonder if Brian's innocent. Your Honor, Brian is innocent. So if I talk about things that are in the affidavit, and if I talk about things that we're seeking that the state wants to hide, I think that's fair game for the public to hear.
Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy 2 for Tuesday. We are going 2 lives today, and we are going to do some myth busting, even if it has to be live digs. And I'll tell you, what do you think the state wanted to hide? What is the state hiding from the public? What is the state hiding from the Idahoans? I mean, let's think about this for a minute. This Idaho 4 case went global. We have got people, so many people here in our stream from other countries, especially the UK. I've seen a lot of UK creators on the TikTok and on the YT pushing this story out to the FYP, out to shorts, out to long videos. Why do you think that is? Yes, folks, I pay attention. If you've never been to my stream, welcome. This is Phoenix. You have reached Phoenix Talks. This is where we all rise above assumptions. We squash those rumors. We think with open minds. Every question matters and every angle is welcome. If this is you, welcome home to the nest. Welcome home. And if you are trolling, keep on scrolling, because there's been a lot of that lately. I will tell you, there are so many rumors in this case that people can't even figure out what's going on anymore. You know, believe me, daily I think about this case and I think, what are the dirty secrets? What are the dirty secrets and the myths that people have kept sharing that don't make sense for confusion? What about the witnesses, the victims? What about them? I mean, they showed up in court, cry me a river story. Everybody sympathized, GoFundMe made, money to be made from all of these families, really, if you think about it. But at the end of the day, what are they trying to do in Idaho? What's the big goal? What's the goal at the end of the day? Because you hear people say, oh, we had no idea that this was going to blow up. We had no idea this story was going to blow up globally. But someone took the story to the media, and someone has stayed in the spotlight the whole entire time. And someone at first was like, this isn't going to fly. This isn't the truth. And then all of a sudden, it was Brian Koberger was the lone assassin, the loner incel that made these 4 people go away forever. But they didn't go away. They still live. They live pretty powerfully today in social media. Is that the legacy that these families want to leave? I don't know. But we're here to look at all the facts that we can, even if those facts are skewed, because we know by the videos by now, something isn't right. The police obviously had to have been there much earlier than the public was told. Families may have been there much earlier than the people in the public were told, even the local media. They've ran people out of town there. And why didn't the families hold the University of Idaho responsible? There's a lot of some things that are not right in this case. I think we could sit here and pretty much every 51 of you here hit the thumbs up button and drop a comment what you think doesn't make sense. And let's talk about some myth busting today. Are you all in for it? If it's 1, you agree. 2, not the stream for me. Or 3, you have another comment to make. Drop it below because I have got some myth busting galore to share today. We are going to get right down to the nitty gritty after 3 years and however many months. We are going to get right down to it. And if you were all in agreement, let's go on this journey. Let's do this little field trip online and let's do some myth busting in the Idaho 4. Because honestly, I think that this was probably should have been Idaho 6 or 7. You know, they talk about a 5th victim. Who was that 5th victim? Who was it? I don't think we'll ever really know. Was it an officer? Was it another student that's remained very hush-hush? Was it somebody related to the C gang that everybody keeps saying? Because yes, these parents were involved in some things, but there has never been direct connections. And that is what I'm talking about. Now, I will say there is a little bit of myth busting that other people have done, but I'm going to address the first one that everyone says, that everyone keeps commenting, even on my videos. And that is that it's Farley. I think we can put that one to rest. I think the logical thinkers out there have heard these audios, which we don't even know if these audios are true. Okay. I have never seen Farley in any witness list. So let's just get rid of the no more Farley. Yes, I agree. Can we all agree? Welcome in every single one of you. Every single one of you. I will go through the stream and mention people's names, but welcome Becca, Les, good to see you. Thumper, welcome back. We've got some OGs in the house this morning. Okie dokie, Lisa, hello. Taco Tuesday. My daughter got a candle from her friends, chips and salsa from BW, and it smells exactly like it. Bed and Body Works. Isn't it Bed Bath and Beyond or Bed Body Works? No talkie before coffee. Haven't had coffee today. I miss it. I try to do every other day, but I drink my mushroom coffee and boy, do I miss it. Dina, good morning. Les, let her other friend pizza and ranch. Ooh, pizza and ranch? Oh, how does that smell? Speaking of, hey, I made French toast and bacon this morning. You know, I am on no diet, believe me. I am on a live it. And I have every other day I do carbs. I just kind of try to balance, really. Just to say, I love our group. You guys make my day. Well, thank you so much. I'm here. You guys make my day for sure. What is up to the beautiful, fabulous mods that make it safe here for a lot of people? Howdy mods, pulling double duty, 1 2 3 1 2. You're dancing today, girl. You've been fighting the flu. Oh my goodness. Finally, I hope you're on the mend. Hope you're on the mend. Hey, Lulu Bell, Cat's Girl. Good afternoon, morning, wherever you are, evening. Yes, 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 Dina. I see ya. We are praying for your quick recovery. Scout Glenn, good morning. I appreciate it. Phoenix rocks. We're getting all those thumbs ups. Get them up. Get them up, guys, early in the morning. My new catchphrase is nothing ever happens in Moscow. Yeah, everybody seems to be saying that, right? Nothing ever happens in Moscow. Nothing ever happens. Yeah, a lot of shit happens in Moscow, people. It's horrible. I mean, it's like becoming the next Seattle out there in this area. Portland. Nothing makes sense. I argued with someone today who said BK put his car up for sale on Facebook Marketplace after the murders. Well, then how did the FBI get all that info? You know, this case is starting to. I gave you the FBI statistics a little while ago, and let me show you how deranged just some cases can be. I'm going to share my screen with you. I was just reading an update on this. I haven't talked about this case. I'm really laser maniacally focused on Idaho 4. Will we ever find out what happened? Probably not. Will we be able to solve this? Probably not. I'm not here to solve it. I'm here to put the pieces together. But some of these myths, man, I'll tell you, if it was Farley that night, don't you think Farley would be on a witness list to testify? Let's use our freaking heads, people. Stop letting others tell you what you need to believe. That's the problem here. I mean, listening to creators are great. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are great. I don't believe I have ever seen Farley's name on the list. Has anyone else? The witness list, the state's list, anyone at all? Tell me. Tell me if you have seen Farley's name on the witness list. I mean, he's in custody. They could have simply made him get there. They could have delivered him, right? I mean, Tyson Farley was not on the list. So let's put the Farley fiasco to rest. I'm sure he doesn't appreciate his name being thrown out there as he was the guy. He was the guy, man. Okay, so Tyson Farley, if you're out there listening to any of these podcasts, bud, we don't see you on any witness list. No one has ever mentioned your name in this case. And if they have, we have not seen it or been privileged to it. Was it in any of the state's examination witness list? No. Was it in any of the defense? No. I'm sure if you had been there and around the area, just like the FBI agent said, you are, who knows if you would have been telling a story. Don't know. Don't know. In a murder case, no one is cleared. No one is cleared. So even the Bethany thing that I showed you yesterday about leaving for Thanksgiving, no one is actually cleared because look, they let her go back home for Thanksgiving. They went back there to interrogate or question or get her statements. Again, she was too afraid to go to Moscow. Why do you think Bethany was afraid to go to Moscow, people? At the time that this was all going on, because behind the scenes, she was out there at the lake with all her friends. Why do you think she was scared? Charlie makes more sense if it was a roommate to Jack. Well, remember, those apartments were not sorority centric or fraternity centric. They were apartments for rent. Anyone could rent those apartments, even working adults, not even related or going to the U of I. But a lot of those apartments that we've shown you along the way have been encouraged for the University of Idaho students to use. And most of those apartments out there on King Road are either owned by people who have gone to the U of I or people that have contracted with them to make sure that people rent these places out. That's common. Very common. And I just don't see anybody's name mentioned in any of these documents other than the car that was registered being driven by an older gentleman looking to pick up girls. And that happened to be registered an Elantra that was under Jesse James and Candace Bailey. That was the registration. Now, um, you know, I was following this story, haven't talked about it, and this just makes me go hum. It makes me go, wow. Let's think about this for a minute. This case, this case is an open and shut case, it looks like to me, because they quickly jumped on the ex-husband, quickly extradited him to Ohio, and obviously there must have been some solid, and I mean solid, evidence against the ex-husband, who allegedly, I believe, is um, I want to say a surgeon. I think he's a doctor. So I've been following this case a little bit, and it's the ex-husband. Ex-husband. He didn't enter a plea, but the assistant public defender, Carrie Poinier, told the judge he intended to plead not guilty. He was arrested in Illinois, ex-husband, and it was this one thing, a vascular surgeon. Thanks, Cats Girl. Uh, the ex-husband was arrested in connection to the murder. His car was seen on surveillance footage in a neighborhood. I sure hope that that car is the car, because we know in the Idaho 4 case, here's a myth buster, that was not Koberger's car. I think we all agree to that as a collective here. And when you think about, wow, it comes right down to surveillance once again in this news story that has basically has been indicted, arrested, and now charged and pleading not guilty. Why would somebody go all the way to another state and commit a crime like this? This kind of sounds like Idaho 4, some bits and pieces of it, but except for the ex-boyfriend, ex-husband, don't you think that's just a little strange? I mean, some of these stories are repeating themselves out there in the spotlight that have gained a lot of national attention. As the case proceeds, we trust the justice system to hold the person fully accountable. Do we? Are people watching this case making sure that every agency does their job? Think about it. I hope that they got the right guy. He married right after their divorce. Yeah. Just kind of strange that after 10 years, they'd been divorced over 10 years. Isn't that right, Les? 10 years. I would think that maybe a couple of years, but I believe he did remarry. I don't know if he had any kids or anything, but I believe he did remarry. Oh, he didn't remarry? He didn't. He never moved on. They were only married 2 years, no kids. He told her he'd be back, plus he was Googling them over the years. The guy had issues. Lana's is on it. Okay. Yeah, I've been following this case, not really too closely, but I was like, oh my gosh, video surveillance. I'll get the rundown. He's been single since. Okay, he never remarried. Whoa. Okay, that's kind of scary. So when you start looking at this case and you start thinking about the Idaho 4 case of a jilted lover, why did they divorce? Why did they break up? How long had they been broken up? And then you start looking at most of the other things that have come out in this case, like these rumors, like Charlie, aka Farley, you know, some of these guys are very controlling and they have one thing in mind, that they're going to be with this person forever. And all of a sudden, my girlfriend has a job somewhere else. She's moving away. She's leaving me. She wants to fight over the dog. And I just can't handle this stress. We know he went to the mental health services at the college, also reached out. And when you start looking at the evidence in the files of someone reported some things going on in regards to maybe not just a commotion, but more of a pattern, it was weird how when JD came around to the scene and nobody wanted to be around him or sit by him. He didn't want to have any association with the people in that house, because even when Dylan was standing there trying to tell him, he looked like he was kind of disgusted and didn't want to hear Dylan's story. But see, he was pulled away from Dylan really quickly. Anybody notice that? We talked a little bit about it yesterday, which I thought kind of odd, because the police had a narrative that they wanted to sell, whether that had been on time, but it seems to me they wanted to clearly, folks, move JD away from their star witness. Their star witness. Look at his body language when he comes up to Dylan.
Pretty much they were in the meeting room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room and she ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And I saw the guy. I actually locked the door and I ran downstairs.
I mean, we can't see his face, but I can see his thumbs moving around, which he's a little uneasy.
What's going on?
Which I've always felt odd. Why would they put that in the beginning of this video? Why would they tell Dylan's story first? When did he really come up and approach? Because we know for a fact, this is my point. We know for a fact the paramedics were walking away in this clip. They were walking away, folks. This myth-busting moment brought to you by Phoenix Talks and my mods. We're going to show you and expose this myth.
Pretty much they were in the room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room and she ran downstairs.
They put this clip first because this actually didn't happen until the 10:33, when the paramedics had already arrived. They redacted all this. They walk up here, and then we see JD walking up right behind them. There he is. There he is, slowly. There he is.
Thank you. No, you're good.
Walking up.
Okay.
Dylan is up here with no shoes, no jacket. And watch the reaction.
Did they tell you anything? They were just like, in the main room.
This is one of the...
Much they were in the main room. I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room and she ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And I saw the guy.
What? Do you notice they have respirators on their necks? Holy freaking moly. What? No, they don't, do they? Is that why they blacked them out? What? No way. No way. Are you serious? Why would they looked like masks? Oh my word, I never thought about that before.
And I ran upstairs to we don't know what's going on.
Can you come here with me?
Miss, can you come here with me?
Please.
So they wanted to stop. Go back. How far back? Yeah, those were the cops that had respiratory. Yeah. N95 masks. Yeah. Why do they have them on their necks? That's a great question. I think they had already been in there from cleaning. Who better yet to clean up a crime scene, right? Yeah, I thought about that before too. Who better yet? I mean, they were the moving company. The cops were moving everybody out.
Oh, thank you.
No, you're good.
Could be moving and cleaning. I don't know. Now, I don't see any of these people have any masks on. Does anyone see them? Underwear in the street. Other stuff in the street. I don't see them have any.
This is one of the.
This is one of the girls. So that would be Josie.
Kaylee went upstairs and she screamed because someone's in the room. She ran downstairs. And I kept calling her name and she wouldn't answer. And I saw the guy.
Okay.
I actually locked the door and I ran downstairs to we don't know what's going on.
And I thought that was kind of odd because, Dylan had a sports shirt on. There was a alleged party that was sports themed. And I was wondering if she went to that party and just stayed in his clothes. So yeah, why were they all like ready to go back in or go in? It kind of looks like maybe they were in earlier. I don't know. This is so weird. And why did they not drive all the way up to 1122? Don't know. They all have their little masks on their necks. What does this guy have in his hand? A banana? What is that? Looks like a instrument. What is that?
Oh, thank you.
No, you're good.
Hang in there, brother. Thanks.
Yeah, like they come up and oh no, we don't need you guys. You can go on. What? Wait a minute. Isn't it these guys' jobs to verify that these people don't need help? When did it become, unless these cops are trained as EMTs, right? I mean, think about it. When was the last time that a cop could say, well, no, they don't need any assistance? All their faces are blurred out. Who knows why? Who knows? They blur out everybody. So is it a myth? Can we bust this myth? I can't. We don't know if they ever went inside the crime scene. We see no EMT respond. We see no resuscitation or help involved, which is not normal. Cops will go in and assess the scene, usually with an EMT. They'll go in and they'll verify, well, they didn't blur out these public servants of the MPD. Exactly. They didn't blur out these cops. Are these protected under privacy and you'll have to get the FOIAs or what? All right. I can't bust this myth. I don't know why the EMTs did not go in there. That is a question for someone else to respond to. But I love the next one. Someone sent me. This has got to take the cake. All right. Now, everybody has speculated this, but yet no one can prove it in the myth busting arena. Kaylee. All right. Kaylee Gonzalez and the OnlyFans account. Has anyone ever seen proof of the OnlyFans account? You think after 3.5 years, if it was true, I mean, think about it. If it was true, we would probably have some type of proof after 3 years. I mean, if you think about this really logically, really quick, okay, with all the stuff out there on social media and everything available, don't you think that somebody would have put this out by now? I mean, don't you think TMZ would have reported, or somebody of the nature in the area that's like, oh yeah, she had an OnlyFans account and here it is, and here's some pictures, yada, 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 yada. Don't you think so? I mean, she had a TikTok. She had, I mean, in my humble opinion, I would say a little provocative pictures. She was on Twitter. She was on a couple of other sites. I didn't go down this rabbit hole. I didn't try to go and look. But don't you think it would have came out in mainstream media or some type of magazine that someone would have said, yes, here's her account and X, Y, and Z? I think that would probably be the case. So if we can't find it, it probably doesn't exist. I mean, if you think about it, I'm just like so over this one. I guess because of the fact that um, it just can't be proven one way or another, right? It's a myth. One of those elusive myths that everybody keeps trying to say. Now, did I find a Twitter account? Absolutely. X, whatever you want to call it. And there were some interesting things that she reposted, like on December 8th. I don't know who she was dating in 2017, but, or it could have been to a friend. Sorry things didn't work out, but really, I'm not sorry. Who knows? That was a long time ago. I think maybe before, maybe, who knows? And yeah, this is another one that we're going to talk about. That's definitely another one. And then this one post that she reposted: men be having girlfriends 10 times prettier than them, and they still have the audacity to disrespect them. Sir, go to prison. What the heck? I mean, think about it. She must have been having some type of, rift or something going on. Of course, she missed her grandpa. That's human. That's normal. Some other things that were, reshared, questionable things. I don't know. I'm not going to get into all those. But in 2019, she did go to Idaho and part of Alpha Phi. There it is. I mean, there were other accounts around, but she didn't use Twitter that much at the time. But some of the things she reposted will give you some insight on what kind of person that Kaylee was. Like she reposted, I'm dating my favorite person in the entire world. God is with you in the midst of whatever you're struggling with. I mean, you can tell a lot about somebody by what they repost. I'll spend $200 on my boyfriend and be like, oh, that was fun. As soon as I buy myself a $4 coffee, I'm like, hey, you psychopath, you need to control yourself. That's the kind of, person Kaylee was. She was a giver. You can go back and take a look. But I'd have to put this one to rest. I didn't find any other account other than TikTok. I didn't go look for an OnlyFans account. But if that was true, it would be out there by now. All right, let's get into this one. This one's an easy one, by the way. Could it have been scrubbed? Only by her. She went under a different name. Well, if you know, send the screenshots on over. We'll share it. People haven't even tried an AI fake account and OnlyFans account for her. Yeah, there's fake accounts out there. How would we even know? Unless she didn't show her face. She runs through the story like she's running lines in a play. Yeah, Dylan was. Okay. What was the one that she was pregnant? Okay, this is an easy one, guys. Really an easy one. If Kaylee had been pregnant, simply the state would have charged whoever with one more unaliving. And they didn't. And I'm saying and speculating this because of the fact that if they didn't want anyone to know, could that have been the fifth victim? Maybe. I don't think we'll ever know. I don't think we will ever know. But if she was, this individual would have been charged with that also, unless they wanted to keep it hush hush. So, will we ever know the answer to that? Probably not. Probably not. But I will show you something that I did find, and I'm sure other people may have found it on Reddit. There was a post she made about acne. She said that she had some bad acne and wanted some type of treatment recommendation, yada, yada, yada. And there was something to the fact that she was using a copper IUD. Now, I don't know if this is factual. It was on Reddit. Only Kaylee would know that about her body and the doctor, and that is private confidential information. So that was on the warrant list underneath the information for Kaylee. So you never know. Autopsy would have showed it. Yeah. But we're never going to get the autopsies. We're never going to get any closure in this case. And I mean, it's probably time to come to that acceptance and a conclusion, because they're never really going to give us any more information. The judge did mark some documents that will be released, and the state is fighting it. They are fighting the release of some more information. And the parents are trying to also stop all the release of information. I mean, I would too. Honestly, I would. If you were a parent and this happened to your child, how would you respond to this? Would you protect your children? Absolutely. I would. I'm just saying. To the extent of the law, I would feel like I needed to protect my kids. Absolutely. Men will turn their heads to check out other women even when he is with an absolute beauty. Isn't that the fact? Isn't that the fact? You know, I saw a clip the other day and I was like, wow. And let me see if I can find it. Let me see. It came across my feed. I was like, why am I getting videos like this? And let me see if I can find it. Yep, here it is. I have to mute the music so I don't get a copyright. But watch this. You were so right, Lulu Bell. Watch. Pretty little airplane girl. Whole family. I saw a guy on here with, I mean, you could probably find these clips easy, but pretty girl walks by. I've never seen a stewardess in high heel stilettos, that's for sure. But yeah, it looks AI generated. I don't know. This is actually an account. Area in the Sky. It might be. She's got 2 million followers. I don't know if she's real or not, but watch. Even a guy with a pretty girl. So, Lulu Bell, I think you are right on the money. Look at their looks. The way they look at this. It might be AI. She might be, and I don't know if it's true or not. Some of these people don't look AI-ish. You think she's AI? I don't know. You guys might be right. Does she look AI? Maybe a filter? That looks pretty real. And if AI is getting this good, we are all in big trouble. All right. So, yeah, women look too. Yeah, they do. They're like, oh my God, they're comparing themselves to him. I believe that true. That looks like AI. I'm a man. I don't even do this in real life. Well, there are some guys who do. She also has weaves. Oh, yeah, probably. Absolutely. Flight attendants don't look like that anymore. That's funny. Oh my gosh. Let me show you a clip of something someone sent me. Where is it at? Hold on. Let me go back. I thought this was very interesting. Listen to this clip. Let me pull it up. It's on YouTube. Because I kind of feel this is something of what we are going through right now. Listen to this. This was sent in by Lulu Bell. Lulu Bell, thank you so much for this. I'm going to turn up the volume. Got headphones on. Listen to this. It's about privacy, and I want you to listen to what they say.
Clients expect one thing from and the window and the room could be in two different places. Client.
Interesting. Interesting clip. Absolutely interesting. Basically, the difference between privacy and secrecy. In the bathroom, I thought that was pretty interesting, especially in the Idaho 4, because mentioning of the bathroom and what somebody was doing and seeing through windows because we know all the lights were on in the house, and maybe someone saw Kaylee doing something that they felt they shouldn't be doing. And that is just wild how this hit home and how people are sending in clips that just make you think, wow, what is really going on in this case? Is this like for real? Have we been watching a movie for the last few years? And then obviously this one that came in, I just have to shout out to Phil. Amazing clip. I don't know if you guys follow this guy on TikTok or on YouTube, but listen to what he says. This is a retired FBI agent. He says, in FBI protocol, the closest witnesses matter the most. Listen to what he says.
Several witnesses closest to the grassy knoll were never formally interviewed or their statements were sealed. In FBI protocol, proximity equals priority. Ignoring close witnesses violates basic investigative standards. When people near the suspected firing area disappear from the record, it suggests the truth was inconvenient, and what they might have said could contradict something critical. Several witnesses closest to the grassy knoll were never formally interviewed or their statements were sealed.
Can you imagine?
In FBI protocol, proximity equals priority. Ignoring close witnesses.
Ignoring close witnesses. Is that even a possibility? Look at all those witnesses that were at the house, that were buddies and homeboys.
Pretty much standing and I heard the dancing and laughing. Kaylee went upstairs.
What about this witness? What about this witness? Victim. What about this one? She saw him. Have we been hoodwinked? Have we been hoodwinked to believe that this is the case? Or have we been hoodwinked in believing that now they want DNA for criminal profiling? Is that a myth, or could this be the case? Can we bust this myth? I don't think so. Too much deception. And I was looking at some bills, some Senate bills, that now there are bills in the Illinois General Assembly. There is a House bill, HB 1120, that I have to bring to your attention because all this DNA stuff has got me looking at some other things. Illinois Senate Bill HB 1120 amends the Illinois Vehicle Code, that is basically the DMV, to remove the requirement for the Secretary of State to designate a space on driver's licenses for individuals to indicate their blood type and RH factor. Talking about DNA, and I just want to say privacy, bodily privacy. This means that the driver's licenses will no longer have a designation for this information, although individuals can still carry other forms of medical identification if they choose to. So there was actually a spot on driver's licenses for individuals to indicate their blood type and RH factor. There was. In other states, why would they even need that information or want that information to show on someone's driver's license? Now they're trying to change it to get it off of there. That is just way too much information being shared, in my humble opinion. Totally in my opinion. Illinois should worry about their high crime rates. I agree. I totally agree. Look at Misty. Yeah, there's another one. I was looking at that when you told me yesterday. I can't believe, well, I've seen some places where this happens in crime labs. There was something that I saw. God, what was it? It was a documentary. Now, this one is really interesting. Yvonne Misty Woods, a former forensic scientist with the Colorado Bureau of Investigation, faces over 100 felony charges for mishandling DNA evidence impacting more than 1,000 criminal cases. This was part of the headline news. 1,000 cases. She turned herself in for tampering with DNA and deleting files. Hearing is scheduled for February 26th. Yeah. I wonder how or why she stepped forward. I know that there was an internal investigation. Here's this picture. There was an internal investigation. Thank you, Thumper. And they were accused of huge felonies. This was just reported last year, sorry. They're going to trial or court this February. She was held on a $50,000 bond. There are 58 separate instances of alleged criminal misconduct between 2008 and 2023. She worked for 2 labs. What kind of corruption is that? Can you imagine how many people or how many layers they have to peel back to make right? How many people were possibly framed or put in jail for something they didn't do? It will cost the state millions in all these errors of DNA, criminal convictions, wrongly incarcerated people, people that have to go back to trial. 7.5 million addition to the state budget. Will we ever see something like this in Idaho a few years down the road, or maybe next week? Or, I mean, what would give somebody the motive to do something like this? Is she a witness? Of course, they gave her a plea deal. They're going to give her a plea deal. $11 million in misconduct. They gave someone else a plea deal. A 31-year-old man pled guilty to lesser charges in the killings of 3 people, and the prosecution could believe that it impacted the work by Yvonne Missy. Yep, Woods. Crazy stuff. Yvonne Missy Woods. Here is the Colorado Sun newspaper link. You all can go check that out. So, are we going to see something like this in regards to mishandling? Possibly. I mean, in my humble opinion, was there mishandling of evidence? Well, we know that the fridge had a mysterious breakdown, and we can't myth bust that one because we don't know the exact circumstances other than what they've told us in a document that was signed off by the police department. Corruption is getting worse. Well, it gets worse when these entities are not held accountable. They're not held accountable. There was a documentary that I saw at the crime lab. The crime guy was taking crazy meds from the lab. They took it from the lab. Now, someone sent me this clip. It's about, let me see how long it is. It's about a 9-minute clip. And let's watch it together. I haven't watched it. I don't know what it is. Let's watch this clip together and see exactly what it is. Hold on. Let me share my screen. It looks like it's a pretty good clip. You might have already seen it. I don't think I've seen this, so let's watch it together. Here we go. See if we can myth bust some of this. It is Steve Gonzalez, Steve Jr., and it looks like Olivia. Police unable to verify or identify victim's alleged stalker. And this is in the Idaho 4. Let's just see what this is.
Me, it's not real yet. I'm a bit in denial. I'm hoping for justice. That's why I'm trying to switch myself into that mode to try to find some justice. That's where I'm at.
I get it. Steve, Olivia?
Yeah, I just know my sister, she was a hard worker, and just sitting in my bed and crying myself to sleep isn't going to do her any justice. And that's not what she'd want me to do. She'd want me to stay active and doing what I can to spread her message and hope that we can find this suspect or suspects. And that's how I feel.
I get it. She's got a great smile. We keep showing that picture. I know your family's been frustrated with the investigation so far, understandably so. Here we are a week and a half information about this, does not appear to be a suspect. Tell me, Olivia, what specifically you've been frustrated with, because you did your own work here. For instance, you found video of the food truck, for example, where two of the victims were seen the same night as this killing.
Yeah, I would say, I think that obviously this is extremely personal for us, and we treated it that way from the very get-go. I know how valuable those first 48, 72 hours are. And I can only hope that the police also know how valuable that is, and that they have a lot of information there that just isn't public right now. I will say the one lingering frustration I have is the timeline. I know it's semantics, but my sisters got home at 1:56. It wasn't 1:45. I know it might not seem significant, but when we're looking for camera, when we're looking for dash footage, when we're looking for any of those things, I do feel it is valuable. And they did get home at 1:56. It was not 1:45.
Right. Well, there's one detail there. Kaylee's mother has said she believes that the suspect, the killer, is someone Kaylee knew very well, and that the killer might even be at the vigil. Remarkable. I wonder, Steve, do you share that view?
It's speculation. My daughter was very popular. It seemed like everyone that I talked to said she knew everyone. They had parties. They were college kids. They were about to graduate. Yeah. So somebody could have partied in the house and got an idea or got the confidence to pull that off.
Got the confidence to pull that off. I mean, at first they said that they thought maybe it was a prank.
Steve, this question of a stalker, and I'm very conscious with this story of how many rumors have been circulating, and a lot of those rumors turn out to not be true. But Stephen, this discussion of the possibility she may have had a stalker, have police been able to stand that up, or not? They seem to be knocking that down.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously, any of that information would be, she didn't call or text, she FaceTimed me for literally hours, almost every single day. And she was extremely cautious. She was very vigilant. I think that she really would have noticed something, and she would have said it to us. She wasn't, scared.
So the only people that made up this story about a stalker was all the people that she lived with or around that were giving statements to the police, like JD mentioned the stalker, Dylan mentioned the stalker, Bethany mentioned a little bit about somebody watching while taking the dog out. So everybody basically talked about Kaylee having a stalker. I would have to say, perhaps, maybe there was somebody that was into voyeurism that was watching Kaylee. Maybe a broken-hearted individual, because they all said within the last month that they thought she had some type of stalker, or someone was watching them in the woods. And the only people that lived in the area in the woods were the people that were mentioned in the documents.
To get us involved in her life in any capacity like that.
I know you're frustrated with how much.
And remember, there is a backstory, DJ, absolutely. There is a backstory that I was able to verify that I've talked about before, that the Gonzalez family, Christy and Steve, had a falling out with Steve's brother, Nate, and there was a protection order that was filed in Washington. It wasn't effective in Idaho, but there is a backstory to that that's all verified in court records. All you have to do is go look them up.
And how information, developments in the investigation are being shared with the public.
And before I know somebody's going to say, can you show us? I will show you. It's all public notice. Let me grab the portal and I will show you myself so that you guys know. Oh, they were in, what was that county? Hold on a minute. Was it? Hold on a minute. Let me go back one step. Okay, search. Oh, excuse me. I name. Here we go. Somebody asked me to find something the other day. Let me go back a little further. I don't know why I'm yawning so much today. Let me go back one more. Of course, when I want it, it's not going to pull up as fast. Here we go. Let me find. I think Steve Jr. has something in there, and so does Steve. There was an error. What was the error? Why is it giving me an error? Are they updating their systems? No, here it is. Oh, no, the only one that I currently see is the tort claim, and they are demanding for a 12 jury person. You know, I'm really thinking about going to this civil hearing, guys. I'm really thinking about this. Is the one against WSU. This is the case number. It was filed on the 7th. Has all their family, one attorney. I'm really thinking about going and covering this civil trial. And I'm sure they're going to have some Zoom or only court online options. I'm thinking about it. Really thinking about it. So there was, let me see if there's another one listed. Here's Stephen. So there was a criminal adult, Stephen. I think this is Junior. See, Anthony, 1993. No, this is when he was an out-of-state witness. He was in order for an out-of-state witness. He was a witness. Attendance certificate to secure attendance of a witness from within the state of Oregon. He was called as a witness from the state of Washington by the Oregon. I guess he was a witness. Ooh, I wonder what kind of witness he was used for. Adult criminal, Steve Jr., probably a driving incident. Judge, probation. What was this one? Arraignment. Ex parte order. Wonder what that was about. Looks like it was Junior, Stephen A. Jr. in 1992. All right, this is another one, domestic violence. This is the one against Nathan. That was the protection order that was asked for. So when I say I've looked, all the information is there. It is out there for the general public to see. And these two in this county, that says Junior, was dismissed. Jail, probation, don't know what it was for. Doesn't say. Speedy trial, ex parte order, don't know what it was for. And that was filed in 1992. Interesting. Dismissed. And this one was in 93, probably falls under the old one. Washington and Oregon, this is where he was called to be a witness. Okay, so there you go. There's all that information. There's plenty out there. Somebody asked me to look for something the other day, but I totally forgot. So let's go back to the video we were just watching and finish this because I was curious what they were talking about and to see, because somebody had mentioned his own stalking or protection order that was from his own brother, which is kind of odd, but it is what it is, folks. Let me go back to that video someone sent me. Here we go. Let's see if it, oh, that's Linda Lane. How did that get in there? How did that get in there? Where did it go? Oh, wrong one. Where did my video go? Did I close it out? Shoot, I hate when that happens. Hold on a second. Talking about the stalker.
It's speculation. My daughter was very popular. It seemed like everyone that I talked to said she knew everyone. They had parties. They were college kids. They were about to graduate. So somebody could have partied in the house and got an idea or got the confidence to pull that off.
Steve, this question of a stalker, and I'm very conscious with this story of how many rumors have been circulating, and a lot of those rumors turn out to not be true. But Stephen, this discussion of the possibility she may have had a stalker, have police been able to stand that up, or not? They seem to be knocking that down.
Yeah, it seems to be knocked down. Obviously, any of that information would be new to us as well. Kaylee FaceTimed me. She didn't call or text. She FaceTimed me for literally hours, almost every single day. And she was extremely cautious. She was very vigilant. I think that she really would have noticed something and she would have said it to us. She wasn't, scared to get us involved in her life in any capacity like that.
I know you're frustrated with how much and how information, developments in the investigation are being shared with the public. Are they sharing anything with you that they're not sharing publicly? In light of the fact that this was your sister, this was your daughter.
I'm not getting anything. They're not sharing much with me. I know that there's a separation in duties there. They do have the FBI now, so I don't know how much the individuals that I'm talking with, which are the local, are actually exercising their different jurisdictions. I think they might not know a lot because they have briefings, and if they haven't had a briefing, they probably don't know exactly what's going on.
Are they contacting you at all? Are they keeping you updated more than they are, say, on the website or with these press briefings?
To be honest, they're not. I mean, yesterday I asked about the stalker question and they couldn't confirm anything. And then today I hear that they're reaching out to the community saying that there's a stalker involved. So I don't know what to make of that.
It's
a lot of sorry, go ahead, Steve.
They're just so vague with everything that they say, and then they slowly peel it back layer until you find the real story. It all started with the sharp-edged weapon. Telling the
oh my God! So they fed the Gonzalez family a story like they fed the public.
Was used instead of just coming out and telling us that it was a knife from the beginning.
Oh my gosh. Are you guys getting what I'm getting?
I don't understand the purposeness of being so vague. You're not holding the integrity of the case together by not telling anybody anything.
I understand you have frustrations for how police and investigators have handled the crime scene. What are those frustrations specifically?
Well, they expanded it, and there was volunteers that walked around, and they
expanded the crime scene.
That they were looking and found for things. So, they did share with me that may have more to do with keeping cameras out than it actually does with evidence gathering. So I hope that is indeed the case. It would be pretty disheartening a week later to know that.
And now I'm seeing this for maybe what we've been calling this. Do you all remember his first ever interview that was on December the 4th, 2022 with the news crew outside of the police department. Outside of the police department. Does everybody remember that video? He's standing outside. It's cold. They're outside the police department. And this interview
deserves answers. The students of the university deserve answers. These 4 young innocent victims deserve answers, and so do their families. So let's start there. Joining me now on set, the parents of Kaylee Gonzalez, Christy and Steve Gonzalez. Thank y'all so much for being with me.
right outside of the police station, as to say, right in the face of the police department, we don't have answers. We are still looking for answers. Stop ignoring us. What do you guys think of that? Are you seeing this? Are you seeing this in a different light? Do you guys? Oh my gosh, I can't not believe this.
To be honest, they're not. I mean, yesterday I asked about the stalker question and they couldn't confirm anything. And then today I hear that they're reaching out to the community saying that there's a stalker involved. So
it's
There-
a lot of
Sorry, go ahead, Steve.
purpose and purpose. They're just so vague with everything that they say, and then they like slowly peel it back layer until you like find the real story. It all started with a sharp-edged weapon. What was the use in telling the community that a sharp-edged weapon was used instead of just coming out and telling us that it was a knife from the beginning? I don't understand the purposeness of being so vague. You're not holding the integrity of the case together by not telling anybody anything.
I understand you have frustrations for how police and crime scene. What are those frustrations specifically?
Well, they expanded it, and there was volunteers that walked around, and they disclosed that they were looking and found different things. So, they did share with me that may have more to do with keeping cameras out than it actually does with evidence gathering. So I hope that is indeed the case, because it would be pretty disheartening a week later to know that they didn't have the right claims.
One of the mother of one of the surviving roommates, so reminding our viewers, there were 2 roommates who were upstairs and survived this, told a reporter that those roommates heard something that night. Have you been told? Have you heard from sharing with other relatives of the other victims what that was exactly?
No, I would say for us that we did hear those rumors, but right now we can only leave it at that. None of that has ever been confirmed to us.
And I just had a thought. Someone said that there was some type of sports related party. Like you had to dress up in a sports related costume. Were there any alternatives that maybe if you didn't have a sports related costume that, obviously there's accessories, kind of like when you dress up for Halloween. If I'm going to dress up as a fireman, I'm definitely going to have some, maybe a backpack or one of those little things that they carry, an extinguisher, the little mini ones or something as an accessory. So if this sports related party did happen and take place, were there other people that had dressed up like a lacrosse player and had their helmet and their gear, or maybe a golfer and a golf club, or a prop? Yeah, is that too far-fetched to say that maybe some of these guys had some props? If it was sports related and I'm a baseball player, I'm definitely taking a baseball bat. I'm definitely going to be if I'm a catcher, I'm going to have a mitt. Is that maybe even possible? If I'm a skier, I'm going to have goggles and a baklava or whatever you want to call it, or some ski mask on my face or something of that nature. Could that be why these individuals went to Walmart to find these things for this upcoming party? Is that a possibility? And that would explain all the sports related gear at the grub truck. They went to a party and they were hungry and they went to the grub truck. That could explain it. A masquerade type of party. Yeah, it was well known, Glenn. It was well known. Roller derby or ice hockey. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, props. Absolutely props. Yeah, court. Yeah, definitely.
We have hospital roommates.
Yeah.
The surviving roommates, and they were downstairs.
Yeah, there was allegedly a sports party. So if you go back to the, let me go back real quick and see if I still have it up on a screen. If you go back to this video, not only was Dylan wearing a sports jersey, but wasn't Bethany? Hold on, let me look.
And you,
He doesn't know. We have no idea.
you're doing great. I'm asking a lot of you. So
I believe Bethany,
I
when
appreciate
she
you.
pulls up, she's got gear on. Let me go back. I'm sure she's got some type of sports jersey on. A lot of people did, especially at the grub truck. You're supposed to be wear your favorite team or dress up as a sport something. That was the alleged party. Where does she walk in after the first one parks? Some sports gear on. But allegedly there was a sports party and a lot of people had the gear on. So yeah, is it possible? Absolutely. So just food for thought there. Let me go back over to this.
There were two roommates who were upstairs and survived this.
Two roommates that were upstairs and survived this. What?
One of the surviving roommates, so reminding our viewers, there were two roommates who were upstairs and survived this, told a reporter that those roommates heard something that night. Have you been told? Have you heard from sharing with other relatives of the other victims what that was exactly?
No, I would say for us that we did hear those rumors, but right now we can only leave it at that. None of that has ever been confirmed.
We have not spoke with the roommate.
Yeah.
The surviving roommates, and they were downstairs, just to clarify that for you, sir.
Okay, downstairs, right, on a different floor from where it appears where the murders took place. One consistent thing, and granted, there's been some, changes as you note in how the police have described this. One consistent descriptor has been that the attack was targeted. Do you know if police believe one of this attack or all four?
I've been told it's one, but then again, there's the vagueness. Like it's like purposely vague. I'm hoping, but it confuses everyone.
Yeah.
Because nobody knows what that really means, other than maybe somebody had a different kind of attack footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, that's I feel like we just want some more. We all want to play a part in helping, and we can't play a part if we don't have any real.
If law enforcement was not sharing anything with him, how did he find out this information? Listen to what he said again.
We just want some more. We all want to play a part in helping, and we can't play a part if we don't have any real substantial information to work from.
Yeah, I get it. You want to help. I mean, Olivia, you found video that has been helpful in this investigation. I'm sure you do want to help. Has anyone indicated to you that if it was indeed one person targeted, was Kaylee the target? Has anybody shared that with you?
They won't confirm who that was to us.
The police, that is.
We've heard the rumors that that's the case, but it's just a rumor at this point.
Tons and tons of rumors, but nothing from the police.
And I'll say I think a lot of those rumors do stem from all of the vagueness, and it's human nature to want answers. It's human nature to kind of put forth a theory so that you can even comprehend it in your brain. And so I think that's how we're getting all of some of these really, really off the wall theories and some of these theories like Kaylee had a stalker that even we're sitting here scratching our heads saying, no, it couldn't be. If it was, it would be news to us.
Yeah. I am sure it is frustrating. Your family has been very outspoken in support of Jack. He's Kaylee's ex-boyfriend. And on the Moscow police website, he is not listed, notably, as someone who has been cleared in the investigation. To your knowledge, is that significant?
No, I don't personally think so, because I think that there's the entire rest of the world that's also not on that list of people who have been cleared.
Right.
Including Maddie's boyfriend, including any associates of Xana or Ethan that might not be involved. I don't find that significant at all.
And there were a number of phone calls to him that night, and you say that would have been typical behavior for Kaylee, that she often would call friends, folks, for a whole bunch of things.
At any time, yeah. Multiple times until I would pick up at 3 a.m. and be like, Kaylee, what?
Yeah.
And some of the last footage of her at that food court, she's on her phone 24/7 filming the whole thing. So she lived on that phone. So
yeah. It sounds like you're saying that the delays here in sharing information, the delays in, well, frankly, making more progress on the investigation, mean the police have lost their best opportunity, right? I think, Olivia, you were saying that those early hours and days are key. That's when you can make real progress. Do you believe that they've missed their best chance here, or may have?
Not only is that's just not a matter of opinion, that's a matter of fact. If you look statistically at homicide cases, those first 10 days are so incredibly important in finding a suspect. They determine almost 9 out of 10 times, I believe it was, if you find a suspect. So yeah, that's not very encouraging of suspects now. And people we know have no involvement.
People we know have no involvement. What did he mean by that?
If you find a suspect. So yeah, that's not very encouraging to hear that they want to cast this wide net of suspects now. And people we know have no involvement.
People we know have no involvement. Why would he say something like that? Yeah, they lawyered up real quick. They look at the inner... Yeah, I've shared those FBI statistics before. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Anything could be used as a weapon. A baseball bat, a golf club. I mean, think about it. A lacrosse, whatever they use. I don't know what they are called, but anything could be used as a weapon nowadays, guys. A kitchen knife. I mean, for God's sake, someone sent me this, the knife found on the table. We know the knife found on the ping pong table, on the drinking table, right? You guys have seen that one. I'm going to talk about this on my next stream, but you've seen this image. It's in the pictures. People have shared it all over social media. Hunter Johnson alleged to drop this knife on the table. Allegedly drops this knife on the table. We'll review that and more on my next myth busting stream. But for right now, I'm going to say this. It is time that we had a little bit more transparency and truth in the Idaho 4 case. People are still watching it. People are still enamored by it. We are still talking about it because nothing makes sense. And, my next stream is called Dirty Secrets Exposed. Of course, I'm going to give you some great content. We're going to talk about factual information. But there are a lot of little secrets to this crime that people will probably never speak about. And that includes even law enforcement. Because remember, the gag order is done, gone. Have you ever seen any of them speak out? Have you ever seen any of the law enforcement be interviewed other than Dollinger and Gunder, the guy from ISP? Starts with a G. God, I can't even think of his name right now. Have we ever seen anyone do any interviews on this case? Sure looks to me like a butter knife. What do y'all think? Drop your comments, leave it below. Make sure that you definitely love on our mods. Be well until later on today.
I've been chasing shadows in the night. Words echo silent where I hide. Every mirror shows a stranger's eyes, searching for the part of me that's mine. But the sky at night